Ready to cut? Start by ironing your fabric to smooth out any wrinkles. Line up your selvages, making sure that your fold is smooth and not twisted. Fold again, lining up your fold with your selvages. Align your selvages along a horizontal line on your cutting mat and your raw fabric edges with the 0-inch mark on your mat. Double check that your entire fabric piece is lined up along the horizontal line on your mat and all of your 4 raw edges are overlapping the cutting line. The most accurate way to make sure your ruler line is centered over your cutting mat line is to look at the 1-inch line on the top of your ruler and make sure it's overlapping the yellow 1-inch line underneath it. Double check top and bottom and trim. Move your ruler to the 5-inch line, double check that your ruler lines are accurately lined up, and cut again. Repeat until you've cut 7 5-inch times width of fabric strips. With whatever strip is left, I like to save it in my strings bin to use later in scrap projects, so I square it up by trimming off those raw edges. Lay out your 5-inch width fabric strips with the fold edge to the right. Line your strip up with the horizontal line on your mat and the folded edge overlapping your 0-inch cutting line. I like to subcut all 7 of my strips at one time, so I start by stacking 3 width of fabric strips, and then another 2, and the last 2. Trim off the folded edge to square your fabric and gently lift your ruler, don't slide it, to your 5-inch cutting line. Sometimes when cutting multiple layers, if you slide your ruler, it shifts the fabric slightly, which is why I prefer to lift it. Cut at 5-inch until you have cut all your 5-inch squares. Don't forget to set aside a piece of your selvage that has the fabric designer info on it. To stack, your top 2 rows will already be in multiples of 4, but your bottom row will have 6. So we will start by stacking the top 2 rows, quarter turning between each stack of 4 squares. Don't forget to quarter turn between each stack of 4. For your last row, remove 2 squares from each of your cut sections and stack those in groups of 4. Now each is a group of 4 and you can finish stacking your squares. And ta-da! 56 perfectly cut 5-inch squares. To double check, count your layers. There should be 14 and you're done.